Hi, boys and girls. I'm going to read the story Golly Helps today because we're having some problems with SuperKids loading for some of you. Before I start, I do want to talk about some words that you're going to see in this story and some words that are in your spelling or on your spelling list this week. And I want you to think about the root word or the base word before you start adding the ending sounds. You probably remember our tree that we had, and we start with the base word before we add the ending sound to make the new word. You're very aware of the Y bandit because you arrested him and put him in jail for stealing the sounds of I and E. You know that when a word has two syllables, you put your hand on your chin, grumpy. That means the Y sounds like the sound E, the long E sound. So the Y is stealing the E sound. Now, what do you do if you want to add ER? So you want to say he is grumpier today than he was yesterday. So you're comparing 2 days. Well, just like we talked about before, the Y says bye-bye, and the I says don't worry, I got your spot, before you add the ER. Now your new word is grumpier. So you might wonder, does that apply also with adding EST? Well, it does. You don't leave the Y. The Y says bye-bye, and the I and the Y do a high five, and the I says, don't worry, I got your spot, and then you add EST. Now grumpy becomes grumpiest. It's very important to remember that the Y goes bye-bye and that the I says, I got your spot. That way you spell the word correctly. Start with your base word though. Start with grumpy before you build your word. So Golly Helps. I will read it to you and I'll try to show you the pages as well as I read. So just bear with me as I'm new to this too. Golly Helps. Chapter 1. The SuperKids were camping at a lake. Let's set up camp first, said Lily. Then we will eat dinner. Golly wanted to help too. Hot Rod was raking. Golly jumped into the neat pile of leaves Hot Rod had made. Hot Rod groaned. I just raked those, he said. Go away, Golly. How do you think Golly felt being told to go away? Lily was setting up the tent. Golly ran over to help. His feet got stuck in the ropes. Golly, said Lily, you aren't helping. Go away. She seemed grumpier than Hot Rod. So Golly left quickly. Golly tried to help Cass make dinner. Golly, you are the messiest dog, yelled Cass. Cass, get lost. Golly, Cass seemed grumpier than Lily, so Golly left quickly. Do you think Golly was getting sad at this point? He was just trying to help. Fritz was fishing. Golly wanted to help, but he tripped over the basket of fish. Golly, you are a pest, said Fritz. Get out of here. Chapter 2. Now remember, we always pause as we're reading to ask ourselves questions and to think about what we've read so far. We need to think about the characters in the story, the setting, where does it take place, and if there's a problem in the story, and if the problem is solved or not. So right now there is a problem. Can you think of what the problem is? Where is our story taking place so far? And who are the kids in the story? Let's look carefully at the pictures too, because remember, the illustrator draws the pictures to tell us more about the story. So we want to make sure we're reading pictures for clues or more information. Chapter 2, Golly gave up and ran off. The Super Kids didn't want his help. It was the grumpiest he had ever seen them. Then Golly spotted a little boy waving his hands. "Help! I dropped my truck!" yelled the boy. Golly jumped in the lake. Splash! He got the truck and swam back to the boy. "Thanks, dog," said the boy. Then he patted Golly, and Golly wagged his tail. How do you think Golly was feeling now? Does he feel any different than he did at the beginning of the story? The boy gave Golly the rest of his hot dog. Golly ate it fast. It was the yummiest snack. Golly began to feel happier. Then Golly spotted some kids in a tugging contest. He ran over, grabbed the rope with his teeth. He tugged and tugged. Golly liked helping the kids. The other team began slipping and sliding. After 2 big tugs, those kids fell down. "Yay, we win!" yelled Golly's team. "Thanks, dog." Do you think Golly's feeling better? "Good work, dog," said one girl. "It was a lot easier to win with your help." The girl gave Golly some dinner. He ate it fast. It was the yummiest dinner. After dinner, the kids gave Golly many pats. "You can help us anytime," the kids said. Chapter 3, Golly went back to the Super Kids. "Golly, where were you?" asked Hot Rod. "We felt bad that we yelled at you." "Yes," said Cass, "we saved some leftovers for you." Golly just stuck up his nose. Fritz said, "Golly, you need to help us finish these leftovers." But Golly was getting sleepier and sleepier. He had finished helping for the day. It was time to rest. So one thing I want you to do now that you're finished with the story, I want you to go back and listen for words that have your and your est sound in them, like happier, happiest. See if you can write the base word like happy and then change it to happier and happiest, or grumpy, grumpier, and grumpiest. See how the Y says bye-bye and the I says don't worry, I've got your spot before you add the ending.